Morning, everyone. How are you all this morning? It's been absolutely brilliant going around school again this week, seeing everyone looking so happy, really looking like they're enjoying school. And I know you are. Loads of people talk to me about the fun things you're doing and the good things you're doing at school. So that word fun, we talked a little bit about last week, didn't we? When we were talking about the word, one of our important words in school, which is enjoyment. Can you remember those four words? What's the one that begins with f? Friendship. What about r? What's the word that begins with that? Respect. What are the other two? They both begin with the same letter. Excellence and enjoyment. And I wonder if you've seen them up around school. If you haven't, look out for them. So we're going to talk a little bit about friendship today. And I love this quote that I found. A quote's when someone says something and maybe something important, and people write it down and think about it and maybe remember it. Well, there was a famous writer who lived in America a long time ago, and his name, he had a bit of an unusual name. Ralph's not an unusual name. We've got Ralph in the school. Ralph Waldo Emerson is his full name, and he has this great quote. The only way to, I'll try and read it properly. The only way to have a friend is to be one. Now that's interesting, isn't it? The only way to have a friend is to be one. So what that means to me, is that you have to be as good a person as you can be and the best friend you can be. And then if you're like that, people will want to be friends with you. And I think that's kind of obvious, but actually sometimes we forget that. And sometimes, we're very busy trying to think about who did what and I'm better than him or her. But actually the best people are the best friends. And what does it mean to be a good friend? Well, it means to me lots of different things. So I'm lucky enough to have lots of friends. And actually some of those friends I went to school with about 573 years ago. 4 of them. One of them I went to primary school with, and his name's Richard. And I've known Richard since I was 4, and that's a very long time ago. He lives in Canada now, and I do get to see him every now and then. But we weren't friends. We weren't friends when we were young boys. In fact, we just kind of knew each other. And because we lived close together, we used to play together on a Saturday morning. And he could be quite nasty to me. Our favourite game, well, his favourite game, wasn't mine. My favourite game was football. But his favourite game was lining soldiers up in a row and then throwing rocks at them. I didn't really like that game. But I wanted to play football all the time, and he didn't want to play football, and we never really got on, and he used to kind of push me, and he wasn't very nice to me and stuff like that. And I remember talking to my mum and dad and saying, Richard's not being very nice to me, And they said, oh, just ignore him. You've got other friends, but we live so close together, it's difficult, and he's always there, and whenever we're together, he's not being very nice to me. One day I kept telling my mum, one day my mum sat down and said, well, what's the problem? And I said, well, he doesn't want to do the same things that I want to do. He doesn't like the kind of things that I do. And sometimes he can push me a bit. And sometimes even he says nasty things to me. And she says, well, sometimes in life you're going to find people who are a bit like that. But all you can do is be as good a person as you possibly can be. That's all you can do. You be a nice person and he'll come round. And if he doesn't come round, then, maybe you don't want to be friends with him. And I thought about that a lot, and I still think about it. And actually what I decided to do was that I would play soldiers with him. And we started talking, and we decided actually there were lots of things that we did like that were the same. Things like Thunderbirds. Things like swimming. We were both quite good at swimming as little boys, and we used to end up going to swimming club together and things like that. So there were lots of things that we had in common. And this is a difficult one in school, isn't it? Because if someone's really not being very nice to you, you must tell a grown-up. absolutely must tell a grown-up so that we can help you and we can do something about it. And if you're not being very nice to someone, you need to think about that long and hard. Why are you not being very nice to that person? But to have a friend, you need to be a good friend. So those of you who are sometimes not as good a friend as you might be, think about that. Think about being a good friend to other people and what that really means. I know it's lovely to see you all with your different friends, but there's so many of us in school that sometimes we do fall out. But it's really important that you personally, just you, think about being as good a person as you can. And me and Richard, as I said, are still friends. In fact, we're great friends now, even though he lives thousands of miles away. And our families are all great friends. Our boys are really good friends with his son and daughter. They're all grown up now. And so it's really lovely, and it's friendship that's lasted for the whole of my life nearly, which is amazing. So today, if you get a minute, just think about friendship. In fact, close your eyes for a second now. Well done. Have you all got your eyes closed? Are you sure? Harrison, have you got your eyes closed? Millie, have you got your eyes closed? Good, right, eyes closed. What I want you to think about is a time when someone has been really nice to you. Really a good friend. What was it that they did to make sure that they were as good a friend as they possibly could be? Okay. Open your eyes, and that's what we all need to think about. But just remember what I say, those people who are nasty, we will not put up with it at Swiss Gardens, because it is not acceptable. If you are being nasty or horrible to someone else, it must stop. Now. Okay? Thank you. Right, I haven't got any house points today, but I've got some jokes. So, Oliver, who's in year 3, I think you sent me some jokes, but I don't know what's happened to them, Oliver. I'm really sorry, so if you mind doing them again, that would be really good. Right, some of them are a bit crazy jokes. Sienna in Puffins. Why did the cookie go to the doctor? Because it was feeling crumbly. Ha ha ha. I like this one from Alex in Puffins. What do ghosts put on their spaceships? Any idea? I mean, it's a funny thing to think about a ghost going on a spaceship. Boosters. Boosters to make the spaceship go up. And I don't know who this one's from. I think it's from someone else in Puffins. What's a fish with no eyes called? Do you know? I expect some of you know this joke. A fish. Fish with no eyes. Okay, let's make sure we're all great friends today. We all support each other and we think about how we're going to be a really good friend. Okay, have a good day.